All right, welcome to day 3 of our challenge. In day 1, we talked about how to go from being a human doing to being a human being using the power of introspective journaling and breath work, in this case specifically box breathing. In day 2, we talked about how to approach the horse correctly and the best technique to start any session that you do with the horse. And on day 3, we're going to show you a really powerful technique called relax into roundness, which really helps the horse come into a state of relaxation. This technique is going to help you with the third big mistake that pretty much everybody makes, and that is missing the subtle signs of tension and brace in the horse. Just because a horse is in what might seem like a collected frame, or even with their head down or whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're relaxed. So we're going to help you learn some of the distinctions between that, how to look for these signs of subtle brace that pretty much everybody misses or doesn't even know existed in the first place.
I think about a story that I often tell about one of my teachers from years ago. Whenever we had an issue with the horses that we were working with, it became a joke. He would say, it's in the neck. If it was a flying lead change issue or loading into the trailer issue, we'd say, what do we need to do? What can we do? And he'd say, it's in the neck. It's in the neck. It's in the neck. And we would get really annoyed, my fellow interns and myself, but really he was right. That all the tension and brace that we were experiencing in what we were asking the horses to do originated in the horse's neck. And if we could figure out how to release that tension in the neck, the communication that we were trying to convey to the horse would work better, because we wouldn't be getting blocked by the brace and of the stiff, tense neck.
Yeah, and this is really just an introduction to techniques and things that we teach in a lot more in depth in our mentorship program. I know some of you have varying levels of experience doing body work and with horses. A lot of times when people do body work with horses, they'll actually start working on the spine or on some of the muscles of the neck or the shoulders. What we're going to do today is show you how to help remove that global sense of brace that horses tend to hold, even in subtle ways, before we go and work on these other things. Because first we want to have the horse without brace, and then we can go in and find the areas that have tension, and then we release them. So we're going to actually show you 2 techniques today. One is the relax into roundness, and another one is called the tension release timer. Let's start with the relaxing into roundness. Victoria's going to show you how to do this, how to help a horse relax and lower its head, which is a very natural and healthy frame for a horse. Some people are confused that we spend so much time thinking about the neck to the shoulders in the beginning, because so much of the propulsion and biomechanics of horses comes from the rear end. So it's natural to think that we should really focus on the hips. And the hips are really important, but the thing you need to know about biomechanics is that motion moves like a wave through the horse. So they propel off of their rear legs, and it moves through the spine and around, and it's like a circle. One of the beauties of the concept of roundness is it's almost like a ball that's moving like that. There's this other concept that when everybody talks about biomechanics, they tend to miss, and that's that there's another reaction coming off the ground called ground reaction forces. So anything that comes from the hips is moving through the ground, the front legs hit the ground, and there's another force that comes back up. So that's actually important when you're thinking about biomechanics, because that completes the circuit that goes back to the hips. So by focusing on the neck and by focusing on this concept of roundness, we are indirectly setting the hips up for success. We'd even say you really can't do anything with the hips until you've got this sense of relaxation and roundness from the front of the horse, based on biomechanical principles, based on classical horsemanship principles, and based on our personal observations over the years. So this is how you start with the relax into roundness technique.
I'm gonna show you how I ask Ezra to drop his neck without any tension or brace. So basically, I stand here, I put my hand on the top of his pole, and I just very softly, it's almost just like an intention. It's almost like I'm not even putting any pressure on the top of his head. It's more just like a suggestion. I'm kind of doing the same thing with my body. And when I do that, I might put a little bit of pressure on the lead rope, but not much. because again, I am not looking for him to brace. I am not looking for him to feel like he's being forced or pressured to put his head down. It's like an energy. It's like we're both kind of going down. And then when he gets crooked here, I'll just take my right hand on the lead rope and just straighten him up. Right there. Good. And what this does is it just lengthens and stretches his spine over his top line. You can see how relaxed he gets. You can see how happy he is to be down in that space. I might sometimes rock him a little bit. Again, if he starts sort of hunting my pants, I just straighten him with the lead rope. I might come down here with him. But the idea is that there's just zero tension in his neck and body. When he comes back up, I just come back up with him and ask him again. This is perfect. Just asking him to stay down here with us, asking him to be light and soft is the first step.
Okay, so now that we've done the relaxant around this, it sets us up perfectly to move down the spine and look for any spots that the horse might be holding tension in the spine. I'm going to stand on this side so you can see my hand better. What we're going to do is we're having a very light pressure, and we work down the groove on each side of the spinous process. The spine's right in the center. We're going to find the little channels on each side of the spine. You want it to be light enough that you're not going deep into the tissue, but you also want it to be deep enough that you're not just affecting the skin. You want to imagine if there's a layer just below the skin. We want to just go into that. And when you're there, you'll notice right in front of your fingers, the tissue is moving like about an inch or two in front of your fingers. So watch that with a soft eye. Don't forget to breathe when you're doing body work. It's very important that you keep breathing to help keep your own system regulated. And when, like, I'm already finding a spot here. As you do this, you'll notice some of the tissue will feel tighter in some spots than others. You might even feel like if fingers get stuck, if you're going at this appropriate pressure and you're gliding along, we're just in that tissue below the skin, and all of a sudden over here on this side, which is my thumb, I feel a little stuck. So, and I notice him kind of saying, yeah, so this is a good chance to show the horse by turning your head and acknowledging that you recognize tension and that you recognize that they're telling you that there's tension there. And basically what we want to do then, and why we call this a tension release timer, is you're going to hold this spot with the same level of pressure that you came in with. Just stopping and holding as a form of acknowledgement. But now what I would like you to do is, over the course of 5 breaths, incrementally release the pressure so that when you get down to 1 or 0, you will not have any pressure at all. So we found the spot of tension. We've communicated to the horse that we recognize it. They've communicated to us that they felt it. We've communicated back that we've noticed they felt it. We've stopped, we paused, we've maintained our pressure. Now we're going to take a big breath, inhale. Then as we exhale, I'm going to, again, imagine a scale from 1 to 5. If I'm at a 5 right now, I'm going to release my pressure to a 4. Just a little bit less. I'm going to take another breath in. Going to exhale. Now I'm going to go down to a 3 on my pressure. I'm going to breathe in again. Inhale. Exhale. Now I'm going to go to a 2 on my pressure. And usually right around the 2 or the 1, you feel the tissue just start to melt away. It's a really neat feeling. I'm going to take one more big breath. this point, my hand is just resting on his back. I'm not putting any pressure. And then I'll just kind of lightly come out. I'm gonna start again. Going down. My hand is gliding through that area better, which shows me he released some of that tension. I'm gonna look for another spot. And I'm starting to feel one again. He's more tense on his right side, I'm noticing. Just take note too, if it's more on one side or the other. Sometimes it jumps from right to left to right, like a spiral. It's all kinds of fun things, and it helps your concentration when you just try to note patterns. Don't try to figure out what it means or why it's there necessarily. Just start noticing patterns. And then you do it again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you just keep doing that all the way down the spine. Every time you find a spot, you might find 1, you might find 2, you might find 6 or 8. Good. This is just a beautiful way to release tension from the horse's spine. And you notice as he's releasing, he's stretching his head down, which we've been teaching him how to do that through the relaxing and aroundness part. And if you start to lose your horse's attention, sometimes you can do a little groundwork with them, a little shoulder in, and come back and keep trying. Sometimes just letting them smell you and then come back to what you're doing to finish your thought. That's all good. When you start to lose a horse's attention, you have to respond in some way. The tension release timer is a method that you can use on any part of the horse's body. The sequence that we've shown you all, from how to approach the horse to the withers, to the heart grounding, to the relaxing into roundness, to the tension release timer down the spine, is really the best way to start any session. You could even incorporate that into your groundwork routine, into your grooming routine, all of these kinds of things. It's very good to do with program horses before they work for the day. It's good to do for them at the end of the day if they're not overstimulated and just need to be done with humans for the day. These are just really powerful maneuvers to help you communicate with the horse, to help show the horse that you see them, to help the horse feel cared for, to help the horse feel comfortable. It also has therapeutic benefits. It helps in injury avoidance and prevention. And it also helps you develop feel, which is one of the most important parts of bodywork. It helps you develop feel without the complexities of other equipment or bridles and tack and reins and all of those kinds of things. Then you can take that feel and apply it to all the other aspects of things that you do with the horse. So that concludes day 3 of the challenge. If you learn these and practice them, they're going to be the foundation for all kinds of work you do with horses in the future, no matter what you do. There's a lot more techniques and things that we can do in terms of body work that we'd be happy to show you. But for now, this will get you off to the right start. Your to-do list today, to stay eligible for those awesome gift cards from Horseplay, is to go into the Facebook group, and if you can, post a picture of whatever horse you have in your life. Post a picture of their face so that we can see them. And if you're not able to do that, then explain the type of expression your horse does, or whatever horse you get to work with. Explain their expression when you see them relaxing. I want you to really think about a horse that you've had an opportunity to work with, and explain what you've seen and explain how it feels when you see it. We're going to be going live one more time at 5:30 tonight to talk about today's training, answer any questions, or just have a general discussion about this material.
Bring your questions.
Don't forget to post in the group. Thanks for joining us. It's been a pleasure to share this important work. It will help you find more peace and balance in your life, and it's a great service to give to horses. It's a way we can give back. It's a way we can connect. It's a way we can attune. It's a way we can become really purposeful in our partnership with horses. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please stay in touch. Keep the questions coming even after the challenge is over. Hopefully we'll see you tonight at 5:30 for the call, and we're looking forward to seeing your posts in the group. We're going to announce the winners soon. We'll be in touch via email and in the Facebook group about the winners of the gift cards from Horseplay. Thanks to Horseplay for sponsoring that again. And as always,
may the horse be with you.